Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of The Equalizer, Season 4, Episode 2, Full Throttle. And the synopsis for this episode is after a young girl is struck by a car in an illegal street race, McCall tracks down the person responsible for the hit and run. Dee contemplates the idea of following her mother's footsteps to join the military. Uh-oh, here we go. I know Robin and Aunt Vi are not gonna like this. So it starts off with these kids dancing in the park. Somebody's ball rolls into the street. The little girl runs out to the street to get the ball for them. She gets hit by a car that was drag racing, ends up in the hospital on life support. The mother reaches out to Robin because she wants the person who did this found, because the police never seem to find the person and they always get away with it. And she works so hard to protect her daughter and she's just like tired. She doesn't know what to do. So Robin's like, don't worry about it. I'll look out for it. So Robin goes to meet with Mel and Harry, and he does some digging around and finds out who the two of the people or three of the people who was drag racing. So Robin decides to get Dante to go with her to the chop stop, what a garage where one of those guys works to find out stuff. Meanwhile, before that, Robin was in the house with Aunt Vi, and she's on the phone with Briggs asking him, has he found anything out about Michelle's whereabouts? And he's like, no, she seems to be off the grid right now. Maybe she left the country. Robin said that's not like her. She's probably still here. But she did tell him, we got to find her before the CIA finds her. So please keep looking. So she hangs up, and then Delilah comes in the kitchen asking questions about joining the Army or the Air Force and trying to pick and decide because there's so many choices, and Aunt Vi and Robin are like, what happened to college? I thought you were going to college. She said, but there's so many choices. And then her phone rings. It's her girlfriend, so she leaves. And Aunt Vi and Robin look at each other and said, oh, she going to college. This must just be a phase. They said they hope so they're going to try to see if it'll blow over. So Robin and Dante show up at the garage, and they're talking to the guys, and they could tell, Robin said she could tell it's a chop shop or whatever it is. So Detective Dante's asking them, y'all need to start talking and say what happened, because if y'all don't, I don't want to have to get a reason for NYPD to come through here and start checking everything. So he said, let's go in your office and check the books. Meanwhile, Robin is talking to a young female who was working in that little garage too. She seemed to have some information and know a little bit about the guy who was driving the other car that hit the little girl. So she gave Robin some information about the guy and then showed her a picture of him. And Robin took a picture of it, and she said she's going to send it to Harry to see if Harry could find out any information about this kid. Because more than likely, he had an accent, she said, and he wasn't from this country. So Robin's thinking he's scared or maybe hiding or something. And both Dante and that young lady said to Robin, we better find him before they do, because it seems like those other two guys are after him too, and they just might hurt him or kill him. We don't know. So Harry finds out a little bit of information about the driver, that picture that Robin sent him, and the kid's name is Ari. I can't remember the last name. And he's from Sudan, like they said, honor student, things like that. And so Mel goes to the Sudan consulate to find out information to try to reach his parents. And the lady at the front desk won't let her through. And then the mother overhears it, and she Melton lets her know about the hit and run and what went down, and the little girl's in the hospital fighting for her life. And then the father comes down with, I'm going to say it was the chief of staff, this lady, and the father's like, well, he was in an accident. Is the car okay? The car, because the Maserati was licensed under the Sudan consulate. So she's like, our son was in an accident. You worry about the car, So the chief of staff was pushing her out the door. Mel wouldn't want her to talk. And then some other guy that's in charge came down. He must have been a bigger guy in charge. And he's like, is everything okay down here? And they're like, yes, everything's fine. Good, we have a meeting. And so they go towards him, and Mel tries to talk to the mother again and give her information, but that chief of staff pushed her out the door real quick. So then Mel is sitting there like, okay, she's in her car talking to Harry, and she's following the father. The father seemed to have left, and he might know where his son is, but Mel thinks they're hiding stuff, but Harry's not sure. But then Harry found something and saw where the kid got kidnapped not far from the consulate and thrown into a van, and they're just wondering if it was those two guys who found him or not. So next we have this quick scene with Delilah coming home, and Briggs is there talking with Aunt Vi. And Delilah gets so excited, and Aunt Vi said she brought him over so that he could help Delilah make a decision. So, because Delilah's thinking about following her mother's footsteps so she could save the world as well. So Briggs sits her down, and she's excited. And he starts telling a story, and it's a gory story about getting hurt and possibly dying and being blown up or something like that, because she decided the army. And he was like, good choice. But when he told the story, Delilah was like, what? Like, I don't want to do that. So I think that's the plan, to get her to lean back towards going to college instead of the military. So now Robin jumps into the car with Mel. Mel has been following Samir, which is Ari's father, and next thing she know, she sees the chief of staff, and they wonder why they're outside talking. And Robin said probably because they don't want somebody inside to hear what they're talking about and doing. And next thing you know, some white guy comes over there and he's arguing with both of them. The next thing you know, you see a gun, and Robin's like, a gun, and they jump out the car, and the white guy shoots the chief of staff, pop, 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 like 2 times in the chest, and he's about to shoot Samir and push him into the van. But Robin and them started shooting at him, and they shot the white guy, and he fell out. So Robin and them went over to the chief of staff and the Samir, and they said, you better start talking. What is going on here? Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all one important thing. When that chief of staff was trying to push Mel out of there, she told her that they were all covered by diplomatic immunity. That means the mother, the father, and the son. So they get the father to the precinct, and Dante tries to talk to him, but he won't talk. And so what they did was got the wife and brought the wife there and brought him in the room. He's like, what's she doing here? And she got in his behind. You better tell what's going on, what is happening. There's nothing more important than our child. And come to find out, it's about some daggone diamond that he stole, and he wanted to sell it. It was worth $7 million, and they could use the money to get from under the Sudan regime and get away from the country and get new identities and start all over. But he hid it in that car where the son was driving, and now the car is being held, and they want the father to tell him where the car is. The son won't tell where the car is, and I guess that's why they wanted the father to talk some sense into his son. So now back at the house, Briggs is leaving, and Delilah lets Aunt Vine know that she realized what she's trying to do. She said, this morning I was talking about going into the military. All of a sudden, Briggs is here. She said, I thought that you would like a knowledgeable person to help you make a decision. She said, no, you were trying to manipulate my decision by having him tell me the most glorious stories about it. And she said, I thought you of all people would understand. You always tell me to think on my own and use my own mind. And she kind of got loud with Aunt Vine. Aunt Vine said, I suggest you check your tone. And she was like, I just saying such and such and such. And she ran upstairs and went in her room and closed the door, even though Aunt Vi kept saying, Delilah, Delilah. So Harry sends Robin to some location looking for these guys. And when she gets there, I forgot the guy's name. She said, oh, I see he's already here. And she saw him with Ari, and he pushed Ari into the car. So Robin starts shooting, and gunfire is exchanged, and she hits one of them, and he gets into the car. And then you hear pop, 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 and they push her body out the car, and they drive off, and Robin's running over there, Ari, Ari. And when she gets over there and turns the body over and finds out that it's Johnny Black, that guy who owns the garage that she and Dante had visited earlier. And Robin seems to be standing there confused, wondering what he has to do with all of this. So Robin calls Dante to tell him about Johnny Black and Ari and them speeding off and everything. And then Mel calls. So when she talks to Mel, Mel lets her know that Samir, the father, had just gotten a ransom call from this guy, Kirby. That's the name, Kirby, that white guy, saying that they want the diamond in 3 hours or they were going to kill Ari. So Robin and Mel is like, I thought he had the car, so why do they need a ransom? So they think that Samir, the father, may have lied about where he hid that diamond. But then they also was talking about, why was Johnny Black there? How does he know about the diamond if Ari didn't know about the diamond in the car? So now back at the house, Delilah's punching that punching bag and she's boxing and everything. And Aunt Vi comes in there and says, "Can I speak to you for a moment?" And she apologizes for overstepping, but she says she won't apologize for Karen. And she just wants to keep her safe. That's what her mother fought in the military for, so that you wouldn't have to. And then Delilah started telling her why she feels that she should go into the military to help others like mom did. Didn't you tell me it's our responsibility to look out for other people and blah, 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 blah. And Aunt Vi hugged her and said, "I didn't know you was listening so well." And she hugged her with tears in her eyes. So that was a touching moment. I like that they have a lot of this more hugging and touching in this show, more caring and loving happening in a lot of these scenes. So now we have Harry on the big screen doing his techie stuff, and he finds pictures of that girl that was talking to Robin earlier, and it looks like she put a tracker in the car from what the pictures are saying. So Robin and them go back to the garage and ask about the tracker. Did she put one in the Maserati? We need to find it before Ari gets killed. And she's telling them the same guys who have Ari are the ones who killed your friend, and they trying to hide stuff. She said, "We ain't got time for that. I'm not trying to shut down your operation. All I need is to find that car so we could save this kid." And so I think they must have gave it to him or something. So because now we have Robin, Dante, and Mel in the car, and they see that they have this guy in there. There's a little hole, and she sees that I don't know what they doing to Ari, but they trying to figure out what to do. Dante saying waiting for backup. And next thing you know, the other guy who owned that garage comes walking down the street with a shotgun and like, pow, shot through the door. And they said, well, there goes the element of surprise. And they all jump out the car to run over there. So when they get inside, they found that guy with the shotgun dead. He's dead and out. So now gunfire is going on. All the different men are shooting with the three of them. And of course, you know how it ends. Robin goes after the guy who has Ari, and he's holding him and he's behind him, And Ari's going, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And, and Robin says, "Ari, look at me. Look at me." And she says something to him in his language of Sudan, which was saying drop to the floor. And Ari drops to the floor and Robin shoots the guy in the head. Pah! And he's dead. And Ari was still down on the floor holding his ears and stuff, like, because he's not used to all this gunfire and stuff. So he was very scared. But now back at the precinct, the parents are happy to get Ari back, but Robin let them know that he still has to pay for what he did to that girl. And they're like, "But we have diplomatic immunity and all of this stuff. You said that it wasn't his fault." She said, "But there's a process to go through for that." And then she let them know that they need to think about it, because if they go back there to the consulate, they might kill the whole family because of him stealing that diamond. This way they could renounce their diplomatic immunity. He'll go to jail and y'all can still go free or something like that, she was telling them. So they were like, "No, we won't do that." And the mother wanted to work it out. And the son said, "No, I will take full responsibility for what I did." And he was crying, but he said he wants to do one thing, which was go to the hospital and see the little girl and apologize to the mother. And when she apologized to the mother said, "She's all I have," and everything like that. But she said, "I'm not going to press charges." He said, "I don't understand. Why not?" She said, "Well, she told me, Robin told me it wasn't really your fault, but she said, I will not take another mother's child down, and put them through this." So Ari said, "Thank you so much." She said, "No, thank her," talking about Robin. So now we at the bar, and the team meets up. We got Robin, Dante, Mel, Harry. And Mel asks about that diamond. "I wonder whatever happened to the diamond." And something that Harry said about the rearview mirror hit Robin. Robin went back to the garage, saw the girl Christine, and asked her how was she going to move that diamond, something that large, because you got to get money for it. And she was like, "How'd you know?" And she told her how she figured it out. So the girl went and got the diamond, and she said, "I know it was wrong. I was going to try to put it back, but everything got so crazy at this point." So she went and got the diamond, gave it to Robin. and told her she just wanted to use it to get out. And I said, that's funny because that's what Samir wanted to do to help his family get out from under the Sudan regime. You know what I mean? So you never know what other people are going through to get out as well. So Robin gave her card and said, there are other ways to get out. And if you ever want to learn about it, give me a call. So Christine read the card and saw it, and she looked at Robin like, who is this chick, you know? Anyway, hopefully there'll be an episode where Christine does call Robin to help her find another way. So I forgot to tell y'all, throughout this episode, we saw scenes of Dante discussing his father and his father wanting to spend time with his grandsons. Remember in one of those private episodes, he was saying he wanted to be able to see his grandsons. So everything has been going well as long as there were supervised visits, meaning Dante was there. But the father wants unsupervised visits. And he gets this phone call from his son saying what Big Ben, that's what they call the grandfather, brought them this PS5 or something like that. When can he come over again so we could play with it and stuff? And Dante's like, okay, that's great. He brought you that. But if it gets in the way of your schoolwork, it goes away. And he said, okay, Dad, I promise. But when can he come again? And he said, I'll let you know. And so I wanted to tell you that part because I have a feeling it'll come up later on in another episode. And so it ended with Robin getting home, talking to Aunt Vi, finding out that meeting with Briggs and everything backfired with Delilah, and finding out that Aunt Vi had to cancel her date once again with her friend. She's been canceling on her a lot lately, and Vi knows her friend is going to be disappointed. And of course, Robin apologized as well. But Robin's like, no, she going to college. I done worked hard and go through the military and all this stuff fighting for her to go into the military. And Aunt Vi said she's at this age now that it might not be your choice. She might choose just what she wants to choose, you know. And so Delilah comes by with a bowl of popcorn and said, hey, what y'all watching? And then she went into the living room and Robin said under her breath, watching you grow up too fast. I said, that's what parents say when they have the wonderful kids. You know what I mean? Anyhow, that's how it went off. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Although this wasn't as exciting as most of the other episodes are, it still was a good episode. It was a great episode, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I was able to understand more of it than I usually do, and I liked it. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about it. And I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.